like to thank you for taking out time and sharing your perspective with us on NewsX World. Meanwhile, viewers, we are shifting focus to more developments coming in. We're now learning that as Delhi struggles with a poor air quality index, China has offered help in combating severe air pollution. Chinese embassy's spokesperson Yu Jing has stated that China once struggled with smog too and is ready to share its journey towards clearer skies. China has been taking aggressive measures to reduce pollution since 2013, including shifting industries, restricting vehicular emissions and expanding clean energy and its green footprint too. The country has spent about $100 billion on air cleaning measures, leading to a significant improvement in air quality over the years. Meanwhile, New Delhi's AQI remains in the poor category, with the number recorded at 228. Areas such as Anand Vihar and Lodi Road have reported AQI scores of 279 and 213, while air quality has improved slightly after cloud seeding trials were conducted. Of course, the deteriorating air quality is a crisis for the residents of India's national capital. Joining us on the broadcast is Mr. Vibhuti Rai, environmentalist from Lucknow. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsX World. What we're seeing in New Delhi, we've been speaking about it year after year after year. The situation has not improved whatsoever. There are solutions that have been offered. There are people, analysts, who point out that it's a mixture of both vehicular emissions as well as the stubble burning that takes place in North Indian states as well. What can India then learn from China's journey in order to reduce air pollution? Because a decade or so back, cities like Beijing and Shanghai were in the same condition.
Oh yeah, in 2013, China, especially Beijing and Shanghai, had shown one of the poorest in all records as far as the quality of air was concerned. There was a lot of smog for months together. And almost similar situation is now coming to Delhi, especially in this transitional weather, when the onset of winters are going to be. I think what China took measures at that point of time was multitasking, like reducing the vehicular pollution by having a limited number of vehicles on the road. That was done with the help of, I think they took out lotteries who can, for numbers that were allowed on the roads. Secondly, they also reduced the polluting industries, especially coal-based industries. They also did a lot of air seeding, especially for local areas where the seeding of cloud was done. In addition, they have installed in different areas large-scale filters on the main roads and intersections. So they took number of measures, and then it was possible in a couple of years' time that the pollution reduced. Now, as far as New Delhi is concerned, it's basically NCR, the National Capital Region of India, where we have all the, let's say, polluting surroundings, especially from Haryana area, Uttar Pradesh, the industrial townships of Delhi itself. So, as I understand, Delhi needs support and planning. For planning, China has offered the technical know-how in what way they can reduce, taking the example from Beijing of 2013. I think government has to take some serious measures, especially the vehicles which are sold every year. They are run in millions, especially in the NCR area. Now people are buying new vehicles, but are also keeping the old vehicles. One major change this time is that a lot of e-vehicles have come on the roads, but I think government has to still improve the number of e-vehicles to reduce the pollution. Vehicular pollution is the most dangerous pollution that is taking place. I don't know exactly the number, but the number of vehicles in Delhi runs in millions. Although from this year, from November, Delhi government has put all the vehicles which are Bharat 4 or less than that not to be applied on the roads, and only Bharat 6 vehicles they are now allowed. But I think it will take time before the things change. Now, the season for this smoke-infested fields which emerge out when a lot of plant remains are burnt out after the cropping season is over, parali kind of things. That is also to be taken care of. That government should give subsidy for these agricultural persons. I think this is one of the ways to reduce the pollution, and then participation of people in general, how they can reduce the polluting areas. That is also to be done.
Indeed, sir. Requesting you to stay on with us as we're shifting focus away from India towards what's happening in the Philippines. We're now learning that the death toll from Typhoon Kalmegi in the central Philippines has risen above 100. This comes as authorities continue to assess the devastation. In Cebu province, 76 people have been confirmed dead, with 35 bodies recovered from flooded areas of Liloan. On Negros Island, at least 12 people have died and another 12 remain missing after heavy rains triggered volcanic mudflows in Canlaon City. Nearly 800,000 people were evacuated ahead of the storm. And we also have learned that Cebu received 183 millimeters of rainfall in 24 hours itself, which is well above the average. This disaster has drawn the attention to alleged ghost flood control projects, with local officials suggesting a possible link to the unusually severe flooding. Meanwhile, weather experts have warned that stronger storms driven by climate change are becoming more frequent. Kalmegi has now moved west over the South China Sea towards Vietnam, which has already experienced deadly flooding this week. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Vibhuti Rai. Interesting development coming in from the Philippines. We've seen this entire region facing more than 22 such storms, 22 such typhoons this year itself. How does this point out to the severity of climate change that is taking place?
Oh yeah, this particular Philippine issue is something which the global eyes should be focusing on this area. The entire Pacific region, in which the Philippines Islands are part of it, is under turmoil. We have had several huge earthquakes, tsunami-infested earthquakes, and then in Philippines itself, there was a rupture and there was a huge earthquake a couple of months ago, and then these typhoons. Most of the deaths, as I understand, are because of the drowning. Many of the cities have been flooded with meter-high waters. Most of the devastation has taken place in Cebu Island, where almost the entire town has been drowned and people have escaped. I have just learned that more than 4 lakh people, 400,000 people have been moved to safer areas. However, there was an accident also of this helicopter which was in the rescue operations has fallen down, and all the 6 people on the rescue team has been dead. This is really, really very sad, because Philippines is one area which is surrounded by waters on all the sides. There are huge number of islands as part of it. Now this typhoon, which churns up the water and throws the seawater and that floods these smaller islands, is something a very serious issue. I don't understand how this early warning system has not been put into place in these areas, because early warning system can actually help to make ample preparations for evacuating people from possible flooded area from the direction of the typhoon movement. That can be done a few hours before because everything can be done on the AI. It can be interpreted which direction the typhoon I would be moving. I think this is one of the major issues related with the climate change. We are seeing the havoc of the climate change, especially in these low-lying islands, and there should be global concern how this climate change can be put back into normal climatic situation. Most of the countries have been part to signatory of various kinds of MOUs where action is to be taken to reduce the carbon emission, also that to bring down the rising temperature of the earth. But I think that the wars in different parts of the world, that has also added fuel to the fury.
Exacerbated,
because,
yes.
On one side, we are saying that we have to reduce pollution and emissions and all that. On the other side, countries are not concerned with it. I have just a few days ago, number of atomic bomb has been exploded by, I think, USA and China and few other countries.
US has said that it's likely to, in fact, resume testing. There are delivery systems that have been tested up until now, but the US, as you pointed out rightly, has stated that it is looking at resuming it. Meanwhile, of course, as you pointed out, it's important to keep in mind that we all share a collective responsibility. The COP30 is coming up in Brazil next week itself, so we'll be keeping our eyes peeled for that itself. Mr. Vibhuti Rai, I'd like to thank you so much for taking out time and, of course, sharing your analysis with us on NewsX World. But viewers, some fresh news coming in from Nepal. We're now learning that Nepal's Election Commission has announced that 125 political parties have registered to contest the first parliamentary election since the mass uprising in September that ousted the government. Spokesperson Narayan Prasad Bhattarai has stated that the commission believes all political parties and citizens are eager to bring new leadership through the election. The registration process is still ongoing, with 10 party applications pending before the election date has been announced. The commission has completed all preparations and has confirmed that the election will be held on the 2nd of March 2026 in a peaceful and impartial environment. Listen in to what the spokesperson had to say.
जो राजनीतिक दल दर्ताको काम पनि निरन्तर भइरहेको छ। हाम्रो आयोगमा राजनीतिक दल दर्ताका लागि यो निर्वाचन घोषणा हुनुभन्दा अगाडि 10 वटा दल पेन्डिङमा थिए। अहिले 125 वटा दलले अनुमति पाइसकेका छन्।
More news coming in. Pope Leo XIV, during an audience in St. Peter's Square, has urged the international community not to forget the Burmese people and to provide necessary humanitarian assistance. Last week, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres had called for an immediate end to the violence in Myanmar and had urged the restoration of democracy, the rule of law and human rights. Myanmar has been engulfed in violence since a coup in 2021 which ousted an elected government, with ruling generals facing strong resistance from armed groups. Listen in to what the Pope had to say.
Vi invito ad unirvi alla mia preghiera per quanti sono provati dai conflitti armati in diverse parti del mondo. Penso in particolare al Myanmar ed esorto la comunità internazionale a non dimenticare la popolazione birmana e a fornire la necessaria assistenza umanitaria.